Just let it go, she's your sister, my mom said, like that somehow erased what Melissa did. She said it so casually, right after my sister had stolen from me. But I didn't let it slide. I filed charges against her anyway. 2 days later, there she was, standing outside my front door, tears streaming down her face, begging me to drop the charges. I didn't open the door right away. I just stood there, watching her through the security footage on my phone, not moving an inch. It was Melissa, all right. Crying, pacing, looking pitiful. I didn't open up. Not yet. Just 2 days earlier, I'd walked into the police station and filed the paperwork myself. This wasn't about something small or forgettable, this wasn't something I could brush off the way Mom wanted me to. No, this time, it was serious. This time, she took something that mattered, something important, something she had no business touching. All my life, I'd watched Melissa skate by with everything. No matter what mess she made, there was always someone right behind her, cleaning it up. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. She lied without blinking, manipulated everyone around her, and when she stole, people just looked the other way. And our mom? She was always first in line to defend her. Always some excuse. Always a reason. She's family, Mom would say, no matter what Melissa had done. But this time? This time, I wasn't going to sweep it under the rug. I hit play on the camera footage again, watching as Melissa nervously paced back and forth outside. Her hair was a mess, her clothes were wrinkled, and she looked like she hadn't slept in days. Honestly, she looked like she was falling apart. Good. Eventually, I opened the door, leaning against the frame like I had all the time in the world. "What do you want, Melissa?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. She gasped like she didn't expect me to actually show up. "James, please," she cried. "You can't go through with this. You can't let them take me to jail," she pleaded, her voice shaking. I wasn't thinking. I let out a dry laugh. "Oh, you were thinking," I said. "You just didn't think you'd get caught." Her lower lip started to tremble, and I could practically see her mind racing, trying to figure out the best angle, the best story, the best way to weasel out of it again. But I wasn't buying it. Not this time. I'd played the fool long enough. She was finally going to have to deal with the fallout of her own choices. And I was going to make damn sure everyone finally saw her for who she really was. She took a shaky breath, her hands clasped like she was getting ready to pray. "James, please, you're my brother," she said. "We've always looked out for each other." I laughed, sharp and cold. "Is that what you believe? That I've been looking out for you?" I shook my head slowly. "No, Melissa. I've just been cleaning up after you. And trust me, there's a big difference." Her eyes flicked off to the side like she was hunting for another escape route, another exit from the mess she made. That was always her move, talk fast, look helpless, and hope someone felt bad enough to bail her out. But that wasn't going to work this time. "I swear, I didn't mean to hurt you," she said, her voice cracking. "I was desperate, James." I cut her off before she could spin the next tale. "Oh, I get it. Believe me, I understand exactly what's been going on. You've been spending money like it's going out of style, new outfits, fancy furniture, little weekend getaways to who knows where. You live like consequences are for other people. And when the money ran dry," I said, pointing right at my chest, "you helped yourself to mine." Again. She flinched. Not at the accusation, but at the word, stole. Because that's exactly what she did, and we both knew it. "James, I was gonna pay you back," she mumbled, barely audible. I let out a sharp breath. "With what, Melissa? Another story? Another round of excuses?" I could already see it in her eyes, the gears turning, trying to figure out which version of the truth would get her off the hook this time. But she wasn't getting a lifeline. Not from me. The street behind her was quiet. No cars. No neighbors. No witnesses to her little act. And make no mistake, this was an act. She tilted her head, trying another angle. "Mom said you always do this," she said, soft and calculated. "That you blow things out of proportion, try to ruin my life over one little mistake." I clenched my jaw. Of course Mom took her side. "And what exactly did you tell her?" I asked. Melissa hesitated, wiping at her eyes. "Just that. I borrowed something. That you freaked out and wouldn't hear me out." I nodded slowly, already knowing the answer. Right. So you left out the part where you stole from me. Lied about it. Tried to cover your tracks like a damn criminal. Her face went pale. You didn't mention that I have proof, huh? I added. She didn't respond, but I saw her flinch again. I pulled my phone from my pocket and scrolled through the messages, her messages. Then I held the screen up. Here, I said flatly. Read it. I watched it hit her like a truck. Right there on the screen were texts, her own words, bragging to a friend about how she was handling her money issues. James will never notice, one of them said. Another said, I'll fix it before he finds out. Well, guess what? She looked up at me like she might try to deny it, maybe spin another lie, but for the first time in her life, she had nothing. You saved our texts, she whispered. I shrugged. I save everything, Melissa. Learned the hard way that trusting you is a mistake. She reached out with trembling hands, like she could somehow snatch the evidence out of existence. James, please. This is family. You don't have to do this. Yeah? I tilted my head. Since when has that ever stopped you from screwing me over? She didn't have an answer. I let the silence drag out, let it hang heavy between us. Then I pressed play on another recording. A voicemail. One she left for a friend. Her voice echoed from the speaker, laughing, as she joked about taking my money. He'll never do anything, she said, he's too much of a coward to stand up to me. Melissa's breath caught. I raised an eyebrow. Go ahead, I said. Tell me how I'm overreacting. Tears welled up again, but I didn't flinch. I'd seen this show before. Hell, I'd starred in it. I was just, she stammered, then broke down. Her whole body sagged, her sobs louder now, dramatic, like she was trying to sell it. I didn't mean it, James. I was scared. I'm drowning in debt. I didn't have any other choice. I laughed, cold and short. Melissa, don't. I know how this works. She peeked through her fingers, trying to read me. You fake the tears. You play the victim. And usually? Someone rushes in to save you. I pointed to the empty street. But there's no one watching this time. She sniffled, frustration creeping into her face. You don't get it, she muttered. Mom gets it. That's why she told me to come here, to fix it before it's too late. That made me go still. Mom sent her? Melissa saw it in my face and jumped on it. She said you have to let this go, she said quickly. She's begging you, James. She's scared for me. Not ashamed of what Melissa did. Not worried about me, the one she stole from. Just scared that, for once, Melissa might actually face real consequences. I shook my head slowly. You still don't get it, do you? She frowned, confused. I don't just want the cops involved, I said, slipping my phone back into my pocket. I want everyone to know who you really are. Her whole body went stiff. What do you mean? I stepped in closer, my voice low. I mean your friends, your boss, your boyfriend, every last person who still believes your sweet little lies. She sucked in a sharp breath. You've wrecked my life for years, Melissa, I said, my tone flat and steady. Now it's your turn. Her eyes went wide. Panic. Real, raw panic. James, you don't mean that. I crossed my arms. Try me. She started shaking, tears spilling down again. You can't do this. My job, my friends, they'll all turn on me. Exactly, I said. That's the whole point. Her fists clenched. Mom won't let you. I let out a humorless chuckle. Mom doesn't get a say in this. Melissa looked like a cornered animal now, desperation crawling up her throat. James, please. I'll do anything. I studied her for a moment. Then I pulled out my phone one more time. Then start by watching your world fall apart. I tapped the screen. Send. Her phone buzzed almost instantly. She scrambled for it, hands shaking so bad she almost dropped it. And when she finally unlocked it, I watched her face drain of every bit of color. She knew what I'd done. No, she breathed, scrolling like a madwoman. No. I just stood there with my arms crossed, watching the wreckage unfold in real time. Her phone was already lighting up, texts, missed calls, the whole mess. Her carefully crafted world of lies and half-truths was finally starting to crack. "You sent it to everyone," she said, her voice barely holding together. I nodded. "Your friends, your boss, even your golden boy boyfriend." Melissa swayed like I'd punched her straight in the gut. She looked up at me with this raw, gutted expression. "You just ruined my life." I raised an eyebrow. "No, Melissa. You ruined your life. I just stopped cleaning up the mess." She let out this choked sob and grabbed the doorframe like she might fall right there. "Please. I can fix this, I swear. Just help me." I shook my head, slow and sure. "No more helping. No more second chances. You did this." For the first time, all that fire she usually had just fizzled out. She looked like a deflated balloon, slumped against the door, completely lost. "What am I supposed to do now?" she asked, her eyes searching mine like maybe she still had a shot. I held her gaze, steady. "Figure it out. Like I always had to." Then I shut the door in her face. I stood there on the other side for a minute, just listening. Nothing at first. Then came the quiet sobs. The shaky breathing. Melissa wasn't used to this. She was used to wriggling out of trouble, playing the victim, landing on her feet because someone, mom, dad, me, was always there to catch her. Not this time. I heard her shift, like she was still standing there, waiting for me to change my mind. But I didn't. Instead, I pulled out my phone and scrolled through the incoming messages. Her boss, is this real? Her best friend Claire, Melissa, what the hell? Tell me this isn't true. Her boyfriend Jake, call me. Now. Everything she'd built was falling apart. The sweet, trustworthy, just down on her luck girl? That mask was off. Another sob outside the door, then footsteps, fast and unsteady, fading down the driveway. I let out a breath, resting my forehead against the wood. I should have felt triumphant. Vindicated. I had done what I said I would. I exposed her, made the truth undeniable. So why did I feel empty? I shook it off and went to the kitchen, trying to distract myself. Poured a glass of water, but my phone buzzed again. Mom. I let it ring. Then again. And again. Finally, I sighed and picked up. What, Mom? Her voice came at me sharp and furious. What did you do to your sister? I laughed, dry and humorless. Oh, you mean what she did to herself? James, this is too far, she snapped. She's in tears. Her job, her friends, everything's falling apart. Yeah, I said, swirling the water in my glass. Kinda like how she stole from me and didn't give a damn until she got caught. She made a mistake. I clenched my jaw. No, Mom. A mistake is losing track of a bill. A mistake is forgetting to pay someone back. Melissa lied. She stole. And she laughed about it. She huffed into the phone. You're supposed to be the bigger person. Translation, I'm supposed to shut up and take it again? There was a pause. Long enough to tell me she had no real comeback. James, she said, softer now. She's your sister. You two only have each other. I shook my head. No, Mom. She has you. I've got me. She started to say something else, but I wasn't in the mood. I hung up. And this time, I didn't feel hollow. I felt free. The silence that followed wasn't heavy, it was light. For the first time in years, I wasn't dragging Melissa's mistakes behind me like a rusted anchor. No guilt. No second guessing. Just peace. I sat down at the kitchen table, scrolling through my phone again. The fallout was spreading fast. Messages kept coming in, even from people I barely knew but who'd clearly heard about the meltdown. Melissa had spent years pretending to be the sweet, reliable one. The poor, misunderstood victim. But not anymore. People were finally seeing her for what she was. Then a text from Jake. Dude, I had no idea she was like this. I'm done. I smirked. Of course he was. She played everyone, and now she had no one. I didn't feel bad. Not even a little. Then came another message. Mom again. I hope you're happy. You destroyed her life. I stared at it for a second, then typed back. No, Mom. She destroyed her own life. I just stopped protecting her from it. I hit send, then blocked her number. For the first time in my life, I chose myself. And I wasn't looking back. The next morning, the house was quiet. No buzzing phone. No frantic knocking. I stretched, rolled my shoulders, and got up. It felt strange, this peace. But it was the kind of strange I could get used to. It felt like I'd been holding my breath for years, and finally, I could let it out. The kind of exhale that settles in your bones. But deep down, I knew it wouldn't last. Peace, at least in my family, always came with a countdown clock. Right around noon, my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. I almost ignored it, but curiosity tugged at me harder than common sense. James, a deep voice said as soon as I picked up. Took me a second to place it. Jake. Melissa's now ex-boyfriend. I leaned back against the counter, surprised. Didn't think I'd hear from you. He sighed like he'd been carrying a boulder around all night. Yeah, well. Figured I owed you a call. About what? Melissa, he said. Figures. She showed up at my place last night. Crying, full meltdown mode. Swearing up and down you set her up, that you twisted the whole thing to make her look bad. I couldn't help the low laugh that slipped out. And you believe that? Not even a little, he admitted. I saw the messages. All of them. She lied to me, lied to you, lied to basically everyone she knows. There was something heavy in his voice. Melissa always had a way of wearing people down until they were too tired to care. I knew that exhaustion well. So what did you do? I told her to leave. But, not before she let something slip. My stomach tightened. Yeah? Like what? Jake hesitated. Your mom. She knew about the theft before you did. I froze. A cold rush ran through me. What? Melissa told her weeks ago. Panicked, I guess, when she realized you might find out. She ran to your mom first. And your mom, she told her to stay quiet. Said you'd never press charges anyway. I gripped the edge of the counter, hard enough to make my knuckles go pale. It all made sense now. The guilt trips, the sudden outrage, her trying to make me the bad guy. Of course. Mom knew. She knew. Thanks for telling me, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Yeah, Jake said, quietly. And for what it's worth. I'm sorry. I didn't know she was like this. Join the club, I muttered. He gave a tired laugh. Take care of yourself, James. You too. I ended the call and stared at the wall for a long, quiet minute. Then I did what I should have done a long time ago. I blocked them. Both of them, Melissa and Mom. And just like that, the last chain snapped. I figured that'd be the end of it. I wasn't their fixer anymore. I wasn't the one cleaning up Melissa's messes or bending under Mom's emotional blackmail. I was done. I was free. But freedom, in my family, wasn't something they handed over without a fight. The next afternoon, there was a knock at the door. I didn't even have to look, I already knew. Mom. I stood there for a second, debating whether to let her stew outside. Maybe give her a taste of what it felt like to be ignored. But then I thought about what Jake told me. About what she'd done. No. I wasn't hiding. Not anymore. I yanked open the door and leaned against the frame. What do you want, Mom? She looked rough. Pale, tired, like she hadn't slept in days. But if she thought that would earn her any pity, she was wrong. We need to talk, she said, voice tight like she was holding something back. No, you need to talk, I said, arms crossed. I just want to hear why you let Melissa steal from me and thought I wouldn't figure it out. She blinked, caught off guard. James, No more excuses. No more, she's your sister. Just the truth. She looked down, gripping the strap of her purse like it was her lifeline. Then finally, she said, because I didn't want to lose her. I frowned. What? She wouldn't meet my eyes. Melissa's not like you. She's fragile. If I didn't defend her, she'd have no one. I let out a bitter laugh. So you threw me under the bus instead? You knew she stole from me and just let it slide? She flinched but didn't deny it. I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd forgive her. Yeah, I said, my voice like ice. Because that's what I always did, right? She stayed quiet. That silence said more than any excuse ever could. You know what's funny? I said, shaking my head. I spent years thinking Melissa was the problem. But now I see it. It was you. You let her get away with everything. You shielded her, protected her from consequences, made her this way. Her face fell apart. James, please. No. I stepped back. I'm done, Mom. Done with the guilt, the gaslighting, the fake apologies. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your safety net. And I am not Melissa's keeper. Tears welled up in her eyes, but they didn't move me. Not anymore. Go home, I said. Melissa's your problem now. She opened her mouth like she wanted to argue, but something in my face must have stopped her. Her shoulders dropped, defeated. And then, finally, she turned and walked away. I shut the door behind her and locked it. This time, when the silence came, it wasn't empty. It was peaceful. Final. A whole week passed. No texts. No calls. No dramatic knocks at the door. Just quiet. At first, I expected something. One last guilt trip. One last attempt to drag me back in. But it never came. And that's when I realized the truth. They only fought for me when they thought they still had control. When they realized they didn't, they let go. And I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't sad. I felt relieved. Like I'd finally stepped out from under a shadow I didn't even realize was there. Then, out of nowhere, I got a text. Aunt Laura. Hey, just checking in. Haven't heard from you. Are you okay? I stared at the screen for a second, then typed back. Yeah. I'm good. And for the first time in my life, I meant it.